Dear students, today I am going to explain the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. Leslie Norris was a prize-winning Welsh poet and short story writer. He taught at academic institutions in Britain and the United States, including Brigham Young University. Now, let's get into some important facts about the poem. The poem has 5 stanzas, and each stanza comprises of 4 lines. Here, the poet uses some poetic devices. They are rhyming words, personification, metaphor, and oxymoron. The rhyming scheme in each stanza is ABCB, that is rhyming words. The poet here personifies the tiger as a human being, which is known as personification. Another poetic device is metaphor, that is the tiger's pairs are compared with velvet. The last poetic device used is known as oxymoron. It means two opposite adjectives are used like quiet rage. Here, quiet means the silence of the tiger, and rage means the anger of the tiger. The poet here wants to explain the agony and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in the zoo. He explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. He wants to explain the condition of the animals that are caged by human beings for their own fun. Let's move on to the poem now. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on pairs of velvet white, in his quiet rage. In this opening stanza, the poet describes the appearance of the tiger in the zoo. He says that the stripes on the tiger's body are visible from a far distance. These stripes are darker in color than the rest of his body structure. The tiger moves in the cage, but he can walk only a few steps as the cage is small. He walks quietly due to its smooth velvet pads. The tiger is full of anger, but he suppresses it due to his helplessness. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through the long grass. near the water hole where pump deer pass. In the second stanza, the poet imagines the life of the tiger in the jungle. He describes the other side of the tiger when he is a free animal. The poet says that in the natural habitat, that is the dark forest, the tiger would have been lying in the shadow of the tree or hiding in the long grass to prevent other animals from noticing his movement. In this way, he could reach the water hole where all the animals of the forest came to drink water. When a deer would pass through the water hole, he would attack him and have him as a meal for the day. He should be snarling around the houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. In the third stanza, the poet says that the tiger would be growling at the edge of the jungle near the village. The tiger would show his white long sharp teeth and long curved nails while moving here and there to scare the villagers. Here the poet wants to convey that if we destroy the forests, then the tigers will forcefully come out to towns and villages for their food. Thus, they will become the cause of terror to humans. But he is locked in a concrete cell. His strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. In the fourth stanza, the poet stops imagining the tiger's forest life and returns to the real condition. The poet says that the tiger is locked in a strong concrete cell. He has all the strength and power, but he is still behind bars. The tiger moves slowly and quietly in his cage and pays no attention to the people who are coming to see him. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. In the last stanza, the poet says that he does not sleep at night. He hears the sound of the patrolling car. The noise of the patrolling car disturbs the tiger and does not allow him to sleep. He keeps staring at the stars with his brilliant eyes. He gets lost in his thoughts and wonder why he has been imprisoned in the cage. So, I hope you understood the poem, and thank you for watching the video.